welcome to the Creaky Pines Podcast. This is episode number 7, and it is the 8th of December. You can find me on Instagram at Creaky Pines and on Ravelry as Bethany Meeker, and we even have a fun Ravelry group called the Creaky Pines Podcast. Very creative. And let's see here. Sorry, it's been a while, so I'm just looking down at my show notes here. Let's see here. Speaking of show notes, you can find show notes linked to my blog down below in the down bar. And I just want to say thank you so much for checking out my podcast. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for, sharing your time with me. And if you're new, I'm so happy that you found me here on the infinite interwebs. Okay, so if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and like and subscribe that we can keep an update on all the fun videos that are coming out. So yeah, we will go ahead and dive right on in to all of the knitted goodness today. So first of all, I do have a finished project, and that is the bracket hat by Whitney Hayward that I found in one of the Lane magazine issues. And this was made for the hubby because he needed something to keep his head warm, especially now that he's out shoveling a bunch of snow. We've had a lot of snowfall already this season. So you can see here, please note that there may be quite a bit of cat hair on it and dog hair sometime in the middle of the night. Cinnamon dragged the hat out and Jared found it on the kitchen floor this morning. But it is still in one piece, so that is always good. I used the Fiber Co. Erin Moore Light in their Mira colorway for it. So it's a nice dark blue, and you can see some, I don't know if you can see it here, some red tweedy bits right there. And I also have some pictures that I took of him wearing it, so I will pop that up around here somewhere as well. Let's see here. This is an 80% merino with 10% silk and 10% cashmere blend of yarn, and I held it double, and I used US size 5 for the brim and US size 7 for the body. And the brim I did, let's see here, it called for a tubular cast on, so I did do that. But it called for like a regular 1x1 ribbing, and I opted to do a twisted rib because I personally believe twisted rib looks a lot better than just basic 1x1 ribbing. I underestimated the size of my husband's head, so I probably should have done a few more repeats here on the body. So that way it would fit him a bit better with the brim folded up, because it's supposed to be a folded brim for extra fabric to keep ears nice and cozy warm and away from the wind. So that is my finished object, or finished project for this episode. So the hubby has a hat, all is good. Okay, so works in progress. The first one is my No Frills Sweater by Petite Knits. I used the Tuku wool fingering in the Havu colorway, and I held it double with Rowan Kid Silk Haze in the color silver. So let me get that out here. I have to say I am happy to announce that I have made it off of raglan increases, and I have been on the body for quite a while. Here's my needles. I believe this is the front. So you can see we have a sweater, and I am still on Body Island, but I believe I should probably try it on to see where it's at before I go into some ribbing. So hopefully I will not be in Body Island much longer, and I can switch over to Sleeve Islands, and then I'll have a sweater. The goal I've had is to get this done by Christmas to wear as a Christmas sweater. we will see. So I probably need to really, bust some tail to get this done. It has been my go-to knit, especially during like nap time, and not so much car knitting because it's a bit much to carry around right now. But definitely TV knitting, nap time knitting. It's just a nice go-to because it's just stockinette. It's fantastic. So I am loving the fabric, especially how it's turning up on screen. Yeah, I'm loving it. I love how soft the mohair makes the sweater, because on its own the tuku wool fingering is a bit on the rustic side. So I'm very happy that it softened it up, and I'm loving the coloring, the marled effect that it's giving. So yay. Alright, so hopefully I should be off of Body Island and onto Sleeve Island the next time we chat. Okay, the second whip that I have going is something I have pulled out of the vault. Out of the vault. It's one that I hadn't been working on in quite a while, and then I picked it back up, and I have a hoe. I have a half object. So here is the first of my Winter Rose socks by Helen Stewart. This was from her first Handmade Sock Society pattern. Not prescription. Oh gosh, I can't think today. I'm just not give up on that one. But anyway, it's from her first Handmade Sock Society, and you can see it has a lovely lace pattern that's so springy. I really do enjoy that. Has a heel flap and gusset, and it's done with slip stitches, so it's not the eye of partridge. And I think this one is a wedge toe because it's very pointy, but it's kind of fun. This is my third pair of socks, and it's just kind of fun to try out different techniques to figure out, what I like. And I am enjoying these so far. And with that, I do have the second sock started. Hold on one moment. I have just gotten past the cuff, and I've just started the lace pattern, so like a row in. But the yarn I am using is Jagger Spun Sock in their Garnet colorway. This is a yarn that I picked up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania at the Lancaster Yarn Shop, I think. Yeah, so it's a nice pair of souvenir socks. I can't wait to get them done. They look so awesome on, even though it's not blocked, but I'm so excited about this lace pattern. So yeah, and this is living in my, one of my kitchen counter crafter bags, and this is the alpaca bag. This is very fun. It's a nice drawstring with a little slider to help keep Emma out of my knitting. So that is my second whip. My third whip hold on, going to the notes. Yeah, I have 4 on right now. So my third whip that I've just started, and it is living, now that I'm talking about bags, it's living in my trappings and trinkets bag that I just picked up when I was in Peoria over Thanksgiving. You can see it's that fun, moody, Victorian-esque, angry knitters and sewers, so I like it. I really do like this. And in here I have living the very tiny start to my northeasterly blanket. And this blanket is solely dedicated to mini skeins from Advent Calendar. So I'm going to be using all of 2019's in this, and then future years as well. So I just have a nice big old Advent blanket to snuggle up under. When it will be done, who knows, it just might be the infinite blanket, because at some point I will be covered in a blanket while I'm knitting it, and I will stay cozy warm with something to do with my hands. So hopefully this works out well. So I am still working on the first mini skein from the advent calendar from A Homespun House for this year, and this was a shock of color. Oh my goodness. Usually I'm more neutrals, maybe a small pop of color every now and then, but this was a bam. And it is a very intuitive knit. I'm not gonna lie, it can be a bit fiddly at times, but I am working it on some 9-inch circular needles so I don't lose it at this point. So yeah, that's what's going on here. And I have this bag filled with all the other little minis still in their bags, ready to go to add on when I need to. And eventually, hopefully, I will move this over into a basket, but until now, it is going to live in this bag. So this has been really fun car knitting. And my final whip has been kind of a impromptu kind of a cast on. I picked up another skein of yarn while I was down in Peoria, and I had the idea that I've been thinking about knitting a hat for my dad for quite some time. So I figured now is probably the time to do it, since I have been knitting for other people and I'm kind of in the groove of doing so. So this is Fezza, I have it written down here. Fezza Yarns Harvest in their worsted weight, and it is in their fig colorway. So I thought this is a fun color for my dad. My dad is totally knit worthy. He has sweaters that he still wears that are like twice my age. Well, I wouldn't say twice my age, but way older than me. And the pattern that I'm doing is the, forgive me, I cannot pronounce this correctly, the Alatau hat by, again, if I butcher your name, I am so sorry, Einar Birkenbeva. I will definitely have it on the screen here, but it is one of the hat patterns out of the newest issue of Pom Pom Quarterly. They have a earmarked here. So it's a fun textured pattern. And it's a top-down pattern, so that is a new skill for me that I'm working on. So I actually had to crochet a little bit for a provisional cast on, and yeah, so that's a new skill for me. So I'm very happy with that, and it is just coming along pretty nicely. It's also a rather intuitive knit, so I've been doing this during some TV time. I probably need to work on it again some more, that way I can have it done by Christmas for my dad. Whether or not we're able to go back down to Illinois for the holidays, we don't know, but at least I can mail it. Alright, so those are all of my whips at the moment that I've been really working on. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't really show you the hat where I'm at so far. So it kind of looks a little funny. It's definitely stretchy because it's essentially twisted rib all the way through with some fun patterning. Let's see if I can find a nice pattern section. You can see it's just kind of branching off, and I think my dad will really enjoy this. I'm considering, don't hold me to it, knitting my mom a matching hat, but perhaps in the rest of this yarn, because I think, if I remember correctly, I may be a terrible daughter, but I believe my mom's favorite color is either blue or red, and this is blue with some red in it, so yeah, we will roll with that. And if they want to switch hats, that's totally fine. At least they'll be getting hats if I do my mom a hat. So that is where I'm at with my dad's hat. I think I will continue to work on this sometime today. Let's see here. Alright, now that we are done with whips, I would like to talk about what I have been kind of craving to cast on lately, but I've been holding off because I feel like I need to get some of these whips done first. And the first one is I need to make a hat for myself. I have realized going on all those walks with Emma down to the library, to the river, just to get out of the house, that the hat that I have, though it is lovely, it is the first hat I've ever knit, it is not very good at keeping the wind off my ears. And it can be a bit chilly here, as I found here in Wisconsin. So I am on the hunt for a pattern to use with this lovely skein of yarn that I also picked up out in Pennsylvania this year. If you haven't noticed, for my Pennsylvania knits, I was very much into my maroons, my dark reds, and golds. Very, very Gryffindor of me, even though I am a proud Ravenclaw. But this is Prairie Spun DK, spun and dyed by the Brown Sheep Company in Mitchell, Nebraska. And let's see here, it's 100% wool, it's a 3-ply yarn, and it's their red cedar colorway. I just know that I really want to make a hat out of this. I know it won't go with my forest green coat whatsoever, but I don't care. I really want a nice red hat. I don't know if it might blend in with my hair a little bit. I do have a reddish tint sometimes, but I think this would make a very cozy hat, and I am on the hunt for a pattern for that. So if you have any suggestions of your favorite hat patterns, or ones that have, I was thinking of either like a doubled rim, or the ones where you tack on, they're tacked underneath. I don't know if that makes sense. Folded over or folded under. Anyway, I need a sturdy brim to go over my ears to keep them warm. And I want to make it out of this. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I would be grateful for any. So that is one that I'm itching to cast on. And the second is a pattern that was just released by Helen Stewart for her Handmade Sock Society 2, which I subscribed. That's the word I was looking for. Subscribed to this year. And she just released the Dorset Socks, which I thought was absolutely darling, because on the back of the lake it looks like there's like little dorsal fins from like a whale or a dolphin, and I absolutely love that. And I am planning on doing that one out of the 3 Irish Girls Adorn Luxe base in their Yukon colorway. Still as a saying, sorry, interrupted by La Familia. We were talking about the Dorset Socks that was just released by Helen Stewart for her Handmade Sock Society number 2, and I wanted to use this skein of yarn for it. I figured it kind of had some oceany feels to it without being overwhelmingly blue, because I don't normally wear blues or ocean themed colors to begin with. But this one is their Adorn Luxe base, and it is 85% merino, 15% nylon, and its colorway is Yukon, and it's 430 yards, so I should have plenty of yarn left over if I wanted to do anything else with it. So that is just a fun spackling of yarn. So I am very much looking forward to doing that. And I have a cat that is digging through Emma's toy basket in here. So please forgive any background noises from Cinnamon. So back to our notes here. So that is all that I've really been itching to cast on. And so we are on to some general chatter. Let's see here. So it is December. We are in the middle of Vlogmas, and I have been having a blast partaking in that. I have been able to successfully upload a video every day. Today is no exception. I will be editing today's video and putting that up either tonight or tomorrow morning. One of the two. It gets out still. And it's been fun. It's been creative, trying to think of ways to, I don't know, kind of film my day. I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit exhausting. Cinnamon has to be held right now because she is trying to get into anything and everything, and I am not about that life right now. So we're going to sit here and we're going to pet a kitty, Dr. Evil style. Is it really this? Anyway. Vlogmas 2019. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's tiring. Trying to make sure I have time to edit a vlog every day, but it has become easier and quicker now that I kind of have a setup on my computer that I just kind of drag and drop my clips into it and just adjust the music. So I kind of have a formula going, which has helped quite a bit, but that was a bit of a learning curve at the forefront. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about today, I know it's still December, but December is the time to plan for the next year, and I'm already thinking about my knitting plans for 2020. So weird to say 2020. Where has the decade gone? So much has happened. But I really want to be more intentional with my knitting time, with my money that I'm spending on my knitting. I have a goal that before I cast on any other, large garment projects, that I want to get through the whips that I have on the needles right now. I know I only have maybe a total of 7 going, but that kind of makes my skin crawl. And I'm not a fan of that. So I really want to get through my whips, have those projects done, and then I need to work through my stash because I already have quantities of yarn for larger projects that I've had on my mind for quite some time that I haven't felt comfortable putting on the needles yet because I still have other larger projects going. And I just feel in my mind that before I cast on, say, another sweater, I need to get this no frills done first. Before I put on another cardigan, I need to get the cardigan I've been working on since 2018 done first. So that is my plans for 2020, is to be intentional with my yarn, knit through my stash, and get all my whips off the needles. So we shall see how that goes. I don't know if I will partake in Make 9 again this coming year, because I didn't do a very good job this year. I think I might have done 1 or 2 on that list before I was already thinking of different project, ooh, shiny new pattern, gotta go cast that on. So again, stay focused. Be intentional with my knitting, intentional with my projects, intentional with my yarn. I think that might be my theme for 2020. Being intentional. Okay, so that is pretty much all of the content for today. The only other thing to discuss is our petit plaisir for this episode. And with it being December, the holiday seasons, one of my favorite things to do, sorry, nose itch, is to make a stovetop simmer potpourri. It just makes the house smell so wonderful. I know I need to make mine in a day or so because I have all the ingredients for it. I just need to pop it on the stove, spend some time downstairs on the main floor with that going so I can keep an eye on it and I can smell it. But it's just such a lovely way to get the holiday spirit going, to have a lovely inviting scent going on in your house. It's just fun to put together and to kind of just watch simmer on the stove. So with that being said, I know there are a lot of recipes for different stovetop simmers, but I will do my best no promises of putting what I do on my blog. So hopefully I will follow through and get that done with everything else that's going on. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you on our next episode. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Want to say bye-bye, Cinnamon? Bye-bye. She's not having it.